Okay, I have that at the top of the hour, and I know folks are going to be coming in as I'm speaking, so everything I'm saying will also be in the chat as well. Thank you for being a part of the Cristo Rey Network Virtual College Fair. Super happy to have you. A few things that you need to know if you don't already. If you're participating in this and you are not a panelist, they cannot see or hear you, but you can still ask questions during this 45-minute session. The way to ask a question is to hit that Q&A button that's either at the top or bottom of your screen. You can do that anytime throughout the 45-minute session. You can ask a question to one institution. It can be a blanket question to all of them. Just make sure you specify. So hit that Q&A anytime throughout this session if you have questions. Pay attention to that chat. These folks will be putting in pertinent information, especially their contact information. So take a look at that chat throughout this 45-minute session. There are no more sessions tonight, but there are some this weekend, so go ahead and check that out. A recording of this is available on our website at StriveScan, but will also be published to YouTube. With that being said, we're going to kick it off to John Carroll University.
All right. Sorry, can you hear me okay and see the screen all right?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, it's great to be here with you all. Thanks for having me. My name is Anne-Marie Verost, and I'm an admission counselor at John Carroll University and also a proud graduate of John Carroll. I'm going to cover a lot of information in a short amount of time, but my contact information will be available. So please, if you have questions after this presentation, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be more than happy to connect. But to kick it off, I just want to share some general facts about John Carroll. We are an institution with about 3,000 students located in University Heights, Ohio, just about 15 to 20 minutes east of downtown Cleveland. We are a private Catholic and specifically Jesuit institution, and that Jesuit identity really guides a lot of the work that we do and is embedded within, the fabric of the John Carroll experience. One phrase that we often use at John Carroll is a Latin phrase that reads cura personalis. That means care for the whole person in mind, body, and spirit. And so that's really the approach that we take with the work that we do. And it comes to life in these three pillars. So mind, academic rigor, body, experiential learning, and spirit, personal formation. So academically, we have about 70 different majors for students to choose from and roughly 35 minors in a variety of different concentrations. So there's a lot of flexibility there for students to really create their own academic path. About 45% of John Carroll students combine more than one area of study, which means a lot of our students are double majoring. They're majoring in something, minoring in something else. Maybe they have a couple different concentrations in addition to their major. So really, there's a lot of different options, again, to craft your own academic experience so that it aligns with your interests and your goals. Additionally, all of our students are assigned an academic advisor who you will be able to meet with one-on-one throughout your entire time at John Carroll. And this advisor can help you not only in the discernment process and like understanding what major or career path may be right for you, but they can also help you with, developing great study skills, matching you with like a peer tutor so that you have the skills to be successful academically during your time here. And then there's a lot of different ways to really bring, that education to life through our experiential learning opportunities. Some of these include, internships, jobs on campus or off campus, community-based service learning programs, on-campus or off-campus research. The list goes on and on for all the different ways that you can really bring that academic experience to life. And not only are these beneficial for you as a student to really enrich your educational experience, but in doing so, you also often benefit, local organizations, the campus community, and the community at large. So we strongly encourage our students to get involved in some of those. And then through that involvement in experiential learning, it's our hope that you would identify some core values that are really important to you so that when you graduate from John Carroll, not only are you embarking on a successful career, but also a fulfilling one that brings you meaning and purpose and fulfillment. So I wanted to share a quick story about kind of how these three pillars came together nicely for me during my time at John Carroll. I was a deciding student at first. I didn't really know what I wanted to study. I ended up in communications, but early on in my college career, I took a class in business and specifically in human resources. And we were learning all about, how to write a resume, how to write a nice cover letter, how to conduct an effective job search. We were practicing interviewing, creating strong interview questions and things like that. And then during that time, like while I was enrolled in that class, we also worked at a service learning partnership with North Star Reentry Center in Cleveland. It's an organization that helps formerly incarcerated folks find jobs and transition back into the workforce. So I was applying those skills that I was learning in class to a real world need. We were doing mock interviews with those people and helping them find jobs that align with their skill sets. And along the way, I just learned some really, values along the way as well. To be honest, I had some preconceived notions about who I'd be working with. And after, sitting down one-on-one with them each week during the semester, we really started to build strong relationships. And all of those preconceived notions were really completely blown away. And it was a reframing and transformative experience. So that's kind of an example of how, your coursework, the activities that you're involved in, and the values that you hold can all come together nicely and really impact you, in your career moving forward. In addition, there's a lot of different ways to get involved in things outside of the classroom. At John Carroll, we have over 100 different clubs and organizations, as well as intramural, club, and varsity athletics. When it comes to the clubs and organizations, there are a lot of really great ones. Some that come to mind are our Swifties group. That one's really popular right now. If you're a fan of Taylor Swift, that might be of interest to you. All of their events are like themed around her different albums and eras. So that one's very popular. We also have an esports club, as well as a sustainability committee on the student government. So there's a lot of great ways, to connect with other like-minded individuals. And then in terms of athletics, we are a Division III institution. So during my time at John Carroll, I played softball, so I can speak, firsthand to what it was like being a student athlete at John Carroll. And I really think that they strike a nice balance between being a student and being an athlete. It's a really well-rounded experience, a very competitive time during the season, but you're also still able to be involved in other things on campus and succeed in class as well. So not only are these organizations and teams great to be involved in to meet friends and build like a strong social support system for you, but this is also where you can develop some of those professional development skills that future employers may be looking for. So when you think about, viewing an internship or job description and they're asking for demonstrated leadership abilities, excellent communication skills, ability to manage your time and multitask and prioritize a bunch of different things, this is where you'll develop those specific things and can really focus in on them. So I want to jump to the next slide. There's a lot of exciting things happening at John Carroll, and I would encourage you to come on out to campus to see it. We're really investing in the on-campus experience for our students. And lastly, I just want to say that there are a variety of scholarship opportunities, and we have one specifically for students in the Cristo Rey network. We have one Catholic Commitment Scholarship. It's a $1,000 scholarship for any student coming from a Catholic high school, and then a $5,000 Cristo Rey scholarship as well. This is in addition to our merit scholarships and other additional scholarships. So lots of opportunities to make this experience affordable for you and your family, and hope you consider visiting us and connecting with us at John Carroll. Thank you so much for your time and attention.
Thank you. Next up, we have Xavier University.
good evening. Let me share my screen here with you. Okay. Okay, can everybody see that? Great. So my name is Kristen Schultz. I am the Regional Recruitment Director at Xavier University. And Xavier University is a Catholic Jesuit college located in Cincinnati, Ohio. Just to give you a little breakdown about the Xavier student body, we have about 4,800 undergraduate students that attend Xavier. They come to us from 48 different states and 32 different countries. 54% of our student body comes from outside of the state of Ohio. So we have a lot of students from across the country that come in a very active campus. 24% of our student body does identify as a student of color. And being a Catholic Jesuit school, 38% of our students do identify as Catholic. However, we welcome all faiths on campus. We do have students that currently represent 19 different faith traditions, and you do not have to have any type of faith background to attend Xavier. And 20% of our student body is the first in their family to attend college. Just talking a little bit about housing, we do require that all students live on campus their first 2 years coming from outside of the Cincinnati area. So we have 4 freshman residence halls that you can choose from that I have listed here. And you can live on campus. You'll live in those your first year. You'll move into our sophomore residence hall your second year. And then you do have the option to move off campus junior and senior year if you'd like. However, you can absolutely stay on campus in some of our upperclassmen housing. And where we're located in Cincinnati, we are in a residential area. So we do have a lot of houses that are privately owned that students rent out for the year for living situations. So this photo actually shows our student involvement fair, and we have this fair in the fall semester every year. We have over 160 student clubs and organizations at Xavier, really something for everybody. Academic clubs, performing groups, honor societies, anything you can think of. This is a great way to come in as a freshman and explore what Xavier has to offer and what we have available for you. In keeping with that Jesuit tradition of educating mind, body, and spirit, we do put a strong emphasis on getting students involved outside of the classroom and getting them interested in activities and community events and things like that as a way to serve and give back. We also offer study abroad programs. So if anybody is thinking or interested in studying abroad during their time in college, we have a couple different options. We do full semester study abroad programs where you can spend a fall or spring semester abroad. Certain majors also have faculty-led programs, which allow students to go along with a faculty member. A lot of these tend to be research-based programs. And then we have short-term study abroad programs that allow students to go for a shorter period, maybe a summer session or over winter break. And I've included some locations that are popular for students, but this is by no means a full list of all of the areas that we have for students. And you may be familiar with Xavier from our basketball program. We are D1 athletics. Men's basketball is a huge part of student life at Xavier. This is a photo of our Cintas Center, which is located right on campus. This is where our basketball team plays. But we do have 18 total men's and women's NCAA Division I athletic sports. Students can attend any athletic event at Xavier for free. So your tickets are included in your cost of being a student. And so basketball games are always a fun way to come out and support Xavier. We have a student cheering section that is just fun and loud and a great experience. And as I mentioned, we are located in Cincinnati, Ohio. So we're about 10 minutes from downtown Cincinnati. So our students really get the best of both worlds. They're able to have a private college campus where they can walk around. They don't need a car to get to their classes, to get to their residence hall, to get to the dining hall, but they are close enough to the city that they can take advantage of being in Cincinnati for internship opportunities, for social events, activities, things with their friends, and so forth. And we are committed to student success at Xavier, and one of the ways that we do this is through our success team that every incoming student gets. It's made up of these 4 people: an academic advisor, a success coach, a financial aid advisor, and a career coach. And these people really work with our incoming freshmen to kind of help guide them through that transition from high school to college, and then from college freshman year through senior year. So your academic advisor will talk to you about your major and your classes and so forth. And you'll meet with them throughout each semester at Xavier and really get to know them and work with them. We do have a 98% acceptance rate at Xavier, or 98% success rate, excuse me. And what this means is that 98% of our graduates are employed full-time in their chosen field, or are in graduate school or doing some kind of military or volunteer service work within 6 months of graduation. And just a quick overview of the admissions process. Applications are now open. It is free to apply to Xavier. So you can submit a Common App or a Xavier app. And along with that, I need a high school transcript, a letter of recommendation, your college essay, and we are test optional for all of our programs. So if you want to submit test scores, you can. However, they are not required. We will begin reviewing applications in the next couple of weeks, and admissions decisions will likely begin going out in early November. And just one deadline to keep in mind while we are rolling admissions, nursing and our competitive scholarships do have a December 1st deadline application date. So just keep that in mind. In the spring, we will have accepted student events to attend. We do have 2 fall open houses coming up this weekend and on October 29th. And we always do visits during the weekday as well. And if you have any questions or you want to follow up on anything, please feel free to reach out to us. You can email us at xuadmit@xavier.edu, and I will drop this in the chat as well. So thank you so much for your time tonight.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Denison University.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Xavier Hip. I serve as an associate director at Denison University. Just a little quick presentation for you all this evening to go through. I will skip through some of the slides, but I just want to make a few highlights here. The first slide, as you see here, it says the best years of your life shouldn't happen at college. One thing about Denison is that we are a small residential liberal arts school. And basically what that means is we believe in educating the whole student. And that means 100% of our students live on campus for all 4 years. And so we're really about building relationships and helping you take that next step. And really, we say, it shouldn't be the best 4 years of your life because we don't want you to peak in college, essentially. We want you to be the person that goes on and has a successful career and a successful life after college as well. We don't want you to be like 25 looking back saying, where'd all the time go? So we'll do our best to, make you have a great time in college, but set you up for success in the future. And so I know you all have heard from a lot of colleges and universities. You'll continue to hear from a lot of colleges and universities as you're going through this process. But if you remember anything about Denison and about my short presentation here tonight, I want you to remember the relationships you're going to build, the opportunities that we give you, and then the competitive advantage going forward into your career path or whatever it might be as your next step. Denison from a bird's eye view, just some facts and figures for you, a few numbers. Didn't mean to click, sorry. Few numbers for you. Around 2,300 students. So we are, like I said, a small liberal arts school, about 21% domestic students of color. We have students from all 50 different states this year, which is sweet. Usually the Dakotas are hard to grab, but we got those this year, and then 79 different countries, which is very, very impressive for such a small school. One of our most popular traditions on campus is when our freshmen start and kind of have their opening kind of entrance ceremony. The students that lead them in are the students from the closest and the students from the farthest away. And so it just kind of shows our global reach as a small school. 931-acre campus and a few other stats you see here, especially that student to faculty ratio of 9:1. And that does kind of, show that small, tight-knit community. Our average class size is around 19, but most of those are going to be smaller for you. Where are we? Like I said, we are just outside of Columbus, Ohio. We are in the town of Granville. And Granville is about 25-30 minutes from Columbus. And so you really do get that kind of small school, best of both worlds mentality. Granville's got a lot to offer. Definitely, if you ever come by, check out Witt's Frozen Custard. It's a popular spot for really great ice cream, really delicious. And being from South Carolina myself, I always thought of the Midwest as like flat. That is very much not the case where we are. We are in the Welsh Hills. So we actually call our main campus The Hill because it is a huge hill. So you're going to get some steps in, and it's going to be a really pretty sight. One of our other traditions is our seniors actually come up and watch the sunrise on their graduation day together on the big hill. So, and then, like I said, right outside of Columbus, so for those jobs, internships. We do send students to the 4 C's, we like to say, Chicago, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Columbus. And they're going there for a number of different things, for internships and jobs. But about 80% of our students will complete at least 2 internships while they're with us. We were just ranked number 3 in the country for career services by the Princeton Review. And so there are a number of different ways we help students take that next step in getting some experience for our students. We've got 16 full-time career professionals in our career services office helping you to find jobs, internships, do mock interviews, resume building workshops, all that kind of stuff. So we are a liberal arts school, but we definitely have a little bit of a career focus in getting you to that next step in your life for sure. And downtown Columbus is also just fun. There's stuff to do there. I would say my wife's favorite thing is probably the AAA baseball team has 10-cent hot dog night, and she really enjoys hot dogs. So there you go. But there's also a lot of other stuff too. And some more numbers for you. Like I said earlier, 100% of students live on campus, 9-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio, but a number that I really wanted to talk about is this mentorship number down at the bottom. 93% of our students find a mentor when they're on campus. And that goes back to what I was saying about building those relationships. Denison is really intentional about making sure that you feel supported and making sure that you are able to succeed at your fullest potential in college, and whether that means finding a professor, an advisor, a career center member, someone that you can lean on at Denison to, ask questions to ask for help, ask for support. And obviously you'll have that among your fellow students, but sometimes it is nice to have that, more adult presence that has been through some stuff, has seen career changes, has been in professional settings. So 93% of our students find a mentor on campus, and that's compared to a national average of around 22%. So we definitely stand out there. And then when you come into campus for different majors and whatnot, students don't have to select a major until the end of their sophomore year with us. So you come in undecided, you can start into your major right away if you'd like, but you also have the opportunity to take general courses, electives, and a lot of our students are double majoring and, minoring. So you have the opportunity to kind of add and pick and choose as well. I saw a question earlier about nursing. Denison does not have a nursing program, so I'd look elsewhere if you're interested in nursing, but here are some of our other programs that we do offer here. We also have these pre-professional programs, so if you're interested in going to graduate school in any of these realms, we'll set you up for success in some of those programs too. I'm going to skip over this slide, but I will say study abroad is very popular with us. About half of our students study abroad at some point. And one good thing about Denison is that we have the financial support systems for you. And I'll talk about that a little bit toward the end. But one thing that we do help students do is get abroad. So if you can't afford the plane ticket, or if you don't have a passport, we'll help you get those things to help you get abroad and make sure, of course, you find the right school, you find the right program that you're looking for. We have a whole global education office that's dedicated to do that. And like most schools, we have tons of clubs and organizations. And what I like to say to students in general, as my just life advice to you, is whether you come to Denison or whether you go somewhere else, make sure you're getting involved. If you're just going to class and going back to your room, you're not getting the most out of your college experience. There is just so much to offer at all these wonderful schools. So make sure you're going out and getting involved in clubs, organizations, something that you love to do, and maybe try some new stuff too. That's what college is all about. So definitely get out there and do that. And then a few more things for you. I mentioned earlier about helping you take that next step, that competitive advantage into your career. These are just some of the physical locations that Denison offers to help you take that next step. So the Career Center, of course, the Denison Edge, which we saw a little bit earlier, downtown Columbus, and then our Liska Center and Red Frame Lab are just some physical locations to help prepare students for their next step in life. Application-wise, you see some requirements over here. Of course, we need your application for Common App. We also take Coalition or QuestBridge. There's no application fee, no supplemental essay. There is an optional interview. I do recommend doing the optional interview if you're so interested. We have a no harm test optional policy. We've been test optional since 2008, so it's not a huge deal if you don't submit your test scores. And then we are one of the few schools in the country that meets 100% of demonstrated need. And so make sure that you are applying for that. We also have no application fee, so you can go ahead and get in there. And then we also offer merit-based scholarships, so no need to worry about applying for those merit-based scholarships. You can go in and just get those automatically. But yeah, if you have questions about Denison, anything like that, that's my time. And so feel free to reach out to me if you have any further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Case Western Reserve University.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming out tonight. My name is Tom Fanning. I'm the Senior Associate Director of Admission at Case Western Reserve. I'm going to put my contact information in the chat. So if you'd like to contact me after our presentation today, please do. Happy to answer any of your questions. And we love the Cristo Rey network. So really proud to be here tonight. Share my screen and tell you a little bit about Case Western Reserve. Here we go. So Case Western Reserve, located in Cleveland, Ohio, a neighborhood in Cleveland called University Circle, with 6,000 undergraduate students and then roughly about 6,000 graduate level students, master's, PhD programs, and we have a med school, dental school, and a law school at Case Western Reserve University. We have over 100 different programs of study. We admit students through the admission process with a single door admit policy, where if you're admitted to the university, you may declare any major or majors that you want. So the flexibility of the curriculum is something I think the students at Case Western Reserve really like to take advantage of. So if that's intriguing to you, we would hope we'd stay on your list. We're also a top tier research institution, and it's a very important part of people's existence at Case Western Reserve. Right now, 86% of our undergrads are involved in research projects. If that leads to a publication in an academic journal and your name is on it, that's a really big deal in higher ed, and that happens all the time at Case Western Reserve. So if that's exciting, this is the kind of institution that we are, and an important piece of what people are looking for when they come to our institution. So we're located in Cleveland, Ohio, wonderful Cleveland, and the students who love Case Western Reserve take full advantage of the city. We're about 5 miles from downtown with all the great things that happen. The connection to business with all the athletic teams, Playhouse Square in Cleveland. But then if you were to stay on campus, we're about 5 miles from downtown. Here's a bird's eye view. We're in a famous neighborhood in Cleveland called University Circle, surrounded by 3 major hospitals, including the University Hospital Systems, the third largest VA in the country in the Stokes VA Medical Center, and then one of the top hospitals in the world in the Cleveland Clinic, all within walking distance surrounding the campus, which might suggest why our largest department is biomedical engineering, third largest department is biology, and a lot of pre-professional and pre-med students at Case Western Reserve. So if you're looking for anything in healthcare, your affiliation with these institutions should be profound, and that's an attraction many people will feel about coming to Case Western Reserve. Not only is University Circle famous because of all of the healthcare institutions, but we're also the cultural center at Cleveland. At the end of our street, you have the Cleveland Museum of Art, which has 40,000 masterworks free and open to the public, and our students take full advantage of having these cultural institutions around them. The Severance Music Center, home to the Cleveland Orchestra, one of the big 5 in the country, is literally situated right next door to our library. So students with a cultural sense or want to develop one might love coming to Case Western Reserve University. We're drawing students from all over the world, and you can see the breakdown in the slide that I have on the screen now. 16% of our students are international, and literally we have all 50 states and 87 different countries in the undergrad population. If that's exciting, then we welcome you to apply to Case Western Reserve. We're also very proud that we have people of all different backgrounds, all different faiths, and we think this is a very important learning environment to learn not only from your faculty members in the classroom, but your classmates, your teammates, your lab partners, your roommates. And so we're proud of this, and we'd like to continue that at Case Western Reserve. So not only are you going to have great classroom experiences, but we put a primacy on having the opportunities for students to ply their trades, ply their interests in the real world. So all kinds of experiential learning opportunities, including research, connections to industry, like the internships we talk about, the clinicals with all those healthcare institutions around us. So as you see on the screen, almost everybody that graduates from Case Western Reserve is going to have some kind of experiential learning work while they're studying in the classroom. And I mentioned this earlier, top tier research institution. So if you're excited by trying to move the dial on human knowledge, that is what we do at our institution. And we're talking about undergraduates being involved in these kinds of opportunities. So if that's exciting to you, we would want to stay on your list. So here's a quick view of the profile of the class academically when you talk about the admission standards, and inevitably people start talking about admissions, about the numbers on the right-hand side of the column. We wanted to make the point that we're looking for intellectually curious students who have done well in school, love the academic enterprise. We're also really intrigued by what you do beyond the classroom and what your talents and skill sets and personality you're going to bring to the campus. So we look very closely at everything you send to us in the application file that you'll send, and give you some sense that we're looking for not only people who are academically capable and prepared, but also those who are going to contribute to a lot to our community. Those are important pieces. We are one of the schools in the country that will meet full demonstrated need. So our costs subtracted minus whatever your family resources can bear, we guarantee to meet the difference. So we meet full demonstrated need. And we also use merit scholarship money to try and attract a portion of our applicant pool. So based on your application for admission, about 40% of our offers go out the door with a merit offer. So if all these things sound intriguing to you, we hope you keep us on your list. And again, we love the preparation you're gaining at the Cristo Rey Network. So Case Western Reserve, and happy to answer any questions if you have any, or if you'd like to be on our inquiry system, please log into the website and get some more details. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll put my my email address back in the chat box. So that's what I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Ohio State University.
I'm going to just share my screen here. Thank you for coming today. I'm glad you're here. I'm having a little trouble getting this to show. I am Josephine Westman-Tell. I'm with The Ohio State University. We are a Big Ten Division I school in Columbus, Ohio. We are also one of the top public universities in the country. A little information about us is that, you know, Ohio State in a nutshell is that we are, we have over 200 majors to choose from. We have over actually 1,400 clubs and organizations this year for you to join. I'm sorry, I am having a little trouble with my screen. Hold on one second. There we go. Let me get this like this. Sorry, it's not working today. There we go. Much better. Okay, it's doing it again. So I'm just going to talk to you then instead of my screen here. So we are one of the top public universities. Here we go. Got it. Okay. So Ohio State in a nutshell. So we've been around for over 150 years. We have over 200 study abroad programs, and I really do hope you take advantage of that. We go to all 7 continents. And what really makes Ohio State so special is the fact that of any university, we have the most living alumni. So we're currently actually above that number. The new number came in at 600,000 living alumni. So what does that mean for you? Buckeyes hire Buckeyes and Buckeyes intern Buckeyes. And the alumni clubs give scholarships to Buckeyes. So we're so proud of that. But you're also going to learn from the best. So, you know, you'll have access to world-renowned faculty who will really challenge you. You'll be in world-class facilities, and you can do research as early as freshman year. We are also a Tier 1 research institute, and so we have lots of research on our campus. We are also home to a major medical unit. So we have a hospital on campus as well as the James Cancer Center as well on campus as well. So if medical is what you desire, we are a medical campus, but we're also well known for our business, Fisher College of Business, and our engineering program, and then nursing and education. And so in general, we're in the top 14th best public university. And this will, you know, you will learn from the best. You'll be academically challenged. So you'll have experiences both inside and outside of the classroom. So very proud of what you learn in the classroom and all the opportunities you have to learn outside of the classroom. You'll be able to definitely find your passion here. So we have we have our student union. We have one of the best libraries on a college campus. It's beautiful. This is a picture from it. It's the Thompson Library, but it's 12 stories high. And on the 12th floor, you can see all of Columbus from up there. So you can study in any of our libraries. We have 8 libraries on campus, but we also have such a supportive community. So even though we are a large school, probably the largest that's going to speak to you tonight, with about 53,000 undergrad, we still have an 18-to-1 faculty to student ratio, and 80% of your classes will be less than 50 students. So we definitely take pride in that. You'll also be able to be a champion of change. So truly, we are a diverse community in a very diverse city. So really proud that we are in a city. We're in Columbus. Columbus is the 14th largest city in the United States. It's home to major Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies. It has a wonderful food scene and music scene and art scene and sports scene. So it does have, minor league baseball, professional hockey, professional soccer. But what I love about our school is that the city is not in our campus. So we have a beautiful campus with a lake running through it. And then about 8 to 10 minutes down the road is this wonderful city. So for us, you aren't in the middle of cornfields, but you're also not in a city. So you'll have the best of both worlds on our campus. So you'll be able to find your path. This is an aerial view of campus. That's our oval right in the middle of campus. And all those paths lead you to different places on campus. One of them you can see in the back there, that is our hospital, the Wexner Medical Center. And then we also have, our library. So one of the paths leads to our library. So there's tons to do on our campus. We do have a November 1st early action deadline. November 1st will make you eligible for scholarships. At Ohio State, we pride ourselves on being accessible and affordable, and we can be less expensive than your state school. So, we're really proud of our merit scholarships. And then we also have a moral scholarship program, an honors and scholars program. And 98% of our students are in the top 25% of their class. And for this year and next year, we will be test optional. We do have lots of ways to get the cost down, scholarships, grants, and self-help. So we will work really close with you to try to get that cost down. Also, this picture shows some of our students everywhere in the world. There's nothing like being in the shoe for a football game. So we are an academic powerhouse, an athletic powerhouse, Big Ten D1. We won 7 national titles last year. We also have a phenomenal music and theater and dance program. We're second to Juilliard for dance. So we will have something for you on our campus. I do hope you visit. I put some information in the chat as far as, getting on our mailing list, and I hope you visit campus.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Whitman College.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Let me share my screen. Here we go. Hey, I'm so glad you're here today. My name is Chris. My last name is Saravjak. All the consonants are hard. It's totally phonetic. It's worth 22 points in Scrabble if you ever want to play it in a Scrabble game. I use they pronouns, and I'm a senior associate director of admission at Whitman College. I've got a great resource here for you tonight. In the question and chat function, I've got a student, Diana Narvaez of Vasquez, and she can talk about the student experience. She's going to throw a little bit of her information in before I dive in. So please, ask her all the questions. She's there for you. She's having the Whitman experience, and she's really great. And I also just wanted to give a quick shout out to all my Ohio family. So all these schools, they're great. I'm actually from Ohio, so I would vouch for any of those of my colleagues. Please think about those schools as well. Some people think of Ohio as a flyover state, and it's so great. It has great academics as well. But speaking about Whitman, we're a small school, about 1,500 students, but really national and international in our representation as well. At this size of 1,500, we're probably about the smallest of the group here. What this means, though, is that you're going to have a lot of individual attention from faculty, from other like the pre-health advisor, the pre-law advisor. If you want to get into grad school, you're going to have a lot of support. So that's really what we focus in on, is individual attention and support. Every student is going to do research at Whitman. You're going to produce a graduate level project before you graduate. So you can look forward to that. My slides are stuck. Ah, there we go. And we're a little different in that we're located in Walla Walla, Washington, which is about as far from Ohio as you can get. It's a small town. It's about 33,000 people. So I think a thing that really draws our students together is a sense of adventure. No one ends up in Walla Walla accidentally. Everyone makes this choice. So the community is really important to us. The town is really great. So the college is right on the edge of downtown. Students go into town really freely. Folks from the town come into campus all the time. It's really beautiful. They have their quinceañera photos taken or high school graduation photos taken. So there's a really great symbiosis there. But academics are really the thing that you go to college for, right? And finding your path through. So we want to help you figure out what you want to do. You don't have to know right away. We want to make sure that every student has a really well-rounded education. So if you are a student who's interested in pre-health, you're still going to have to take some classes that require writing. You're still going to have to take some social science classes. You're still going to have to take classes that get outside the lives and teachings of dead white dudes. It could be a language class, or it could be a history of Brazil kind of class. So lots of breadth. This is important because as Gen Z, man, you're fascinating. You're so different than I am. You are really pragmatic. You're really money conscious. If there's something you don't like, you make a change. All the data is telling us you're going to change careers 7 to 9 times. I've changed careers 0.5 times. So you're just in a really different situation. So you're going to need to have that broad skill set. Then in your second 2 years, you're going to lean into your major and really dive deep there. And that's where you're going to do your research and essentially, be prepared for grad school or going into the workplace if that's what you want to do. And student life is going to be really important for us as well, right? Because, at Whitman, 90% of our students come from over 4 hours away. No one ends up in Walla Walla, Washington accidentally. Everyone really makes that choice. So our students are really community oriented. They care about each other. I see them hanging out on Ankeny Field, which is the center of campus, after class, throwing a Frisbee or sitting on a blanket, playing music together. They have a little quirky tradition where they like to go to the taqueria and buy a bunch of burritos and drive up into the wheat fields and the hills and watch the sunset. So just like a quirky, lovely group of students. And we've got a lot of support programs in place as well. I would highlight, I want to definitely highlight health and counseling. I want to normalize talking about mental health. I think we all noted after COVID, mental health became a real challenge and we need to provide resources for that. So we have a strong health and counseling center on campus. Also want to highlight the Intercultural Center, which we have students from all over and want to make sure that everyone feels welcome. So whatever your racial identity, whatever your gender and sexuality, we want to make sure that we've got supports for you. But the goal of college, man, your goal is not to get into college. Your goal is to have a really fulfilling life afterwards. So we want to make sure that we're taking you through all 4 years. So we assign every first-year student an individual career coach who you meet with. About 70% of our first years meet with their career coach. And they're going to talk you through, in your first year, should you be thinking about service? When should you apply for a fellowship? What internships do you want? And actually, a lot of internships are unpaid, which is dumb. You should be paid for your labor. So if you get an unpaid internship, Whitman will actually fund it for you. We'll give you a $4,000 grant for a summer internship that we help you find. So we want to make sure that you're prepared for those next steps. And a lot of our students are going on to grad school. You can see we have attendance at some really top places there. So if that's the route you want to take, you're going to be really well prepared. Our 4-year graduation rates are very, very high. And I will say that for our Black and Latinx students, our 4-year graduation rates are about 30% higher than the national averages. So do be aware of that and know that we're going to make sure that you're getting through in time and with less debt. With that, my information is there. I'll throw it into the chat as well. Hope you're chatting with Diana, and thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you. If I could ask everyone to turn their camera on, we're going to do this pretty quickly because it's already 45. If you could, I was going to share my screen, but I'm not. So in the same order that you presented, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process, starting with John Carroll?
Okay, if I can I share two quick things?
Sure.
My top two pieces of advice would be to visit campuses if you're able to. I think there's no better way to get a feel for a school or figure out if it's the right fit for you than to physically be on that campus, interact with the folks who are there, to really find that right fit. And then my other bit of advice would just be to create an email address or an email account like specific to your college search. Just because I think when you attend these different events, attend college fairs, a lot of different schools are going to have your contact info, and we all are interested in, the great students that you are. So you'll probably get a ton of different messages. And rather than having them like clog up your school email or email that you use for other things, I think it's smart to set up an account specific for college search. So, and be sure to check it. But those are my two bits of advice.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with Anne-Marie on the visit. I think that is a crucial part of the college search process. But my advice would be at this point to really sit down and have a open and honest conversation with your parents about what their expectation and your expectation in this college search process is. Where you land with financials, where you land with distance from home, things like that. Because at the end of the day, the decision is likely going to be a family decision. It's going to be something that you and your parents or your guardians make together. And so having that conversation up front will really help you kind of narrow down the search and find a place that you can all agree on and be happy with.
And for me, I would just say ask questions. This is your process. It's very difficult. There's a lot of colleges. You've had more information than any other generation in the past to kind of go through. So we are all here to help you out and to help you take that next step. So ask questions and don't be afraid to, get out there and ask. There are no dumb questions.
I don't know if it's a piece of advice, but I'd like to say to everybody that every school that you just heard about is spectacular. And we all have success stories, and why can't you be the success story at any of them? So I hope this becomes a joyous process rather than a stress-filled process, because as long as you go through a good process and listen and think, talk to your family, you're going to land at a great place. You're well prepared coming through the network you're coming through. So I wish everybody good luck, and I hope you have fun with this process. Even though it's stress-filled, we understand that. We cause some of it, but you'll be fine. Go through a good process and you'll be great. Thank you.
That actually was going to be my answer, is to actually have fun with this. Even if you come to 3 schools, you're going to be successful at any 3 of those in the end. So, but the other thing then I would say is just make sure you're meeting all the deadlines, because a scholarship deadline for us, November 1st, it could be the difference between you and a $15,000 scholarship. So please make sure you're meeting deadlines.
I think I would just say, know that there's not one perfect school for every person. There are so many great schools in the United States, and you're going to be a fit. Like you, my young friends, contain multitudes, and you can fit into a lot of those places. So approach your search with like a sense of openness, with a sense of curiosity and adventure, and know that you're gonna land in a great school and you're gonna do well.
Okay, and with that, we're wrapping up, and I always like to plug, reach out to these folks if you have questions. Their job is to point you in the right direction. They're the experts. They're here to help you truly. They want to find the right fit for you. So check it in the chat. Remember, this is being recorded. It is also going to be put onto YouTube, so you can view it there as well. If you have any questions, again, reach out to these folks. I appreciate you being here tonight, and I appreciate all these presenters, and I hope you have a fantastic evening. Good night.